All right, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? It is the Mass Reviewer back again with another review, and tonight we are doing a review for the Apothecary Diaries Season 2. I managed to finally finish rewatching, not rewatching, this is the first time watching me, I managed to finally finish watching the second season. I finished it like much earlier, but I am only managing to do the recording now because of my circumstances, and probably this video is going to come out tomorrow because I'm not going to have time. I have to go to bed right after this. I have to be on a train in 6 hours to get to back to university, so that's going to be fun. So, but yeah, anyway, so we are doing a review for Apothecary Diaries Season 2, so let us just get into it, starting off with the plot/mystery aspects. So, the beginning of the season, it kind of starts off pretty slow, to be honest. Definitely, it feels like a lot of just, filler stuff going on, where it's, a bit, some mysteries here and there, where Mao Mao is still working to figure out mysteries, with this season specifically. I think there was, with the twins figuring out how they snuck out of the house and stuff. There are some envoy. There's some foreigners that come to the rear palace that are selling spices and stuff, which some sinister forces are using to make abortion potions or whatever. So you do have a lot of the still mystery solving that there was in the first season, but then I think it gets it starts picking up some pace, I guess, some tension in the second half of the season, where it very much focuses on. So in this season here, spoilers, I guess, for anyone that doesn't want to be spoiled, but in this season there is the new character of Shisui, and I'm just going to say this now. It is revealed that Shisui, by the end of the season, is revealed to be Lolin, who was she was one of the concubines, one of the high-ranking concubines. So yeah, Lolin is revealed to be Shisui, and then the second half of the season is basically Mao Mao ends up getting kidnapped by, not Shisui directly, but she is kidnapped by, her name is, I forgot how to say her name. It's I'm trying to see here. It's not, I always say it wrong. It's not Suide. It's really annoying with the character here. Suirei, yeah, Suirei. All the characters, a lot of them look the same, and a lot of them have very similar names as well. So I do have the list of characters pulled up here, but it's a bit confusing to try to find who I'm looking for. So anyway, so Suirei kidnaps Mao Mao, and then it does focus a lot on this whole thing of the mystery. It does pick up basically of the mystery of what happens to Suirei at the end of the in the last season. It's she does end up she dies, but then she gets revived from the revival potion. So then that mystery is finally wrapped up, I guess, in this season, where it's you find out more about her and her connections with Shisui, who is this new character that gets introduced early on in the season. And then it took me as a surprise. I did not realize that she was going to end up being Lolin, so that was an interesting development, I thought. And then basically, so yeah, the second half of the season is that Mao Mao ends up getting kidnapped, and then it's kind of, I don't really like this as much because they do end up revealing that the one that is the antagonist basically of the season is I forgot her name once again. I really should have pulled up I should have selected specific characters that I to plan to talk about, because I did her name is Shenmei. Yeah, Shenmei. So she's the one that's kind of responsible for a lot of what's going down, where it's she is manipulating or she is the wife of Shiso, who is the Shisho, who is the high-ranking official and the father of Lolin. And so basically she is causing a lot of problems, and Shisho is kind of going along with it, but he's really his goal is to just basically separate the corrupt parts of the rear palace, and while he's trying to both please his wife Shenmei as well as being loyal to the palace and stuff. So I do think it may sound like I'm not explaining this well, and I do think that is probably I'll say this now, that is probably the worst part about the season, where it's it is very confusing, especially when it comes to the passive characters and how characters tie into each other, where it's affairs and relationships between characters and stuff. It does get very confusing, I will say, towards the end. And so the late emperor plays a role into it, and then there's all these things that happened in the past that tie into the the current predicament right now at the current moment of the show. So it does definitely feel like it is not the most clear, not the easiest to follow along to, and so I do think that is the worst thing. So I'll just rate it now. I guess the worst thing is, in my opinion, the clarity of the season, and following along with every single relationship and every single character, and remembering who is connected to who, and why certain people don't like other characters and stuff. So I will say that the clarity of the second season, not the second season as a whole, just when it comes to relationships and stuff, and more so in the second half, I would say, of the second season, I would say that the clarity is probably it's bad. I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to be harsh with this. It is bad. So yeah. But in terms of the plot / mystery aspects, I will say I don't think any of the mystery stuff like was really that much interesting compared to the last season. I kind of liked a bit more of the last season, where it's like it felt like there was a bit more of a conspiracy side to it, where it's like this feels more so like just political mystery of like, okay, who's like who is responsible for like this political stuff going on, and that kind of, it feels more political, the mystery aspects, where in the last season it felt a bit more conspiratorial and like classic mystery of like uncovering clues and stuff like that. So but yeah, the plot, I would say it's like it's I don't know, I would give it like a 6 out of 10. I think it's above average still. I do still enjoy the episodes. They're still enjoyable to watch, and so overall I would say the plot is still like, it's still above average, like each episode, what's going on with it, whether it's like Mao Mao doing something in like this new village, or whether we're following Jinchi doing whatever he's doing at the time. So yeah, so here I'm going to stop in the middle here, because I do want to I just remembered I should have done this at the start, but I do want to give a big thank you, because we have hit a new sub record. We are at 47 subscribers, so we went up a subscriber since the last time I think I did a recording. So big thank you to any of the new subscribers watching, anyone that is watching the content, anyone that's subscribed, anyone that is just interacting anyway with the videos. Really do appreciate it. So once again, big thank you to 47 subscribers. Really do appreciate it. So I know that might have come off a bit unnatural, because it was like in the middle of the review, but I forgot to do it at the start, and I didn't feel like waiting until doing it until the end. So anyway, so the characters, yeah, there are a lot of characters this season, and it is a bit of a shame, because they do not focus as much on like a lot of the characters that were kind of established in the first season, which is a bit of a shame. Like, you don't have as much of, I guess I'll go through the characters. You still see a lot of Jinchi and Mao Mao, which is great. I still think that they're great characters. I do like the developments with the characters, where it's like Mao Mao is learning more about like Jinchi's true identity. I like all the relationship between them. I think it's nice. Other than that, you have Gao Xuan, who, like, he's an example of a character. It feels like he's not as much in this season. Like, he's not really in the first season. He wasn't in the first season a lot either, but it feels like this season as well, it's like even less so. Gyokyo, Lady Gyokyo, you do see her like in the first half, I would say. In the second half as well, it's like you don't see too much of her, but you know, she's in here. Shizui, she is a new character, and she's probably the highlight of the season. She is probably the best character, I would say, of the season. She really does feel like she feels like she is one of the most important characters of the season, and I think that she does steal the spotlight a lot of the time in a lot of the scenes that she is in, so she is a great addition. You have Xiaolin, and she is definitely, I think she's probably a bit better this season than the last season, where it feels like she's actually being developed a bit more, where it's like she's trying to learn how to read and write and stuff, and you see a bit more of her relationship with Mao Mao and Shizui, so I do think that she is probably improved, I'd say, in this season. The minor characters, let's see here. I am noticing now that this is, I think they did this in alphabetical order of the characters, so that is, like, it's still listed as like main characters, secondary characters, and minor characters, but I am seeing that it is listed in alphabetical order. So let's see here. I'm just going to mention there's a lot, so I'm just going to mention the ones that I feel like are worth mentioning. You do see like a cameo of Adwa, which I guess is nice, like towards the end, so that is good, I guess. Nice to see her again. You do have the foreign princesses, Isla and Island, the concubines, and it's kind of weird, because like they show up, and it's like it is shown that they are working against, they're working with Xiaomen, like in order to go against the emperor, I guess. So, but that never ended up getting wrapped up. So that felt like a loose thread that's just like not resolved at this point. So I wonder what they're going to do with that in the next season. So other than that, you have a bit more of Boston. He is the son of Gao Xuan, and he is still fine. Like, he just, most of the scenes are like he is just being a servant, like serving under Jinchi. Like, he gets upset a lot, and yeah. The doctor is, he's good. The scenes that he's in, he's not like a highlight character or anything, but anytime he is in the show, he is good. I just realized I'm going to do a character ranking after this, hopefully, so I will talk about these characters more in depth, but just continuing to scroll through real quick. The Emperor, I did actually, there was like one episode, I think it was the 7th episode of the season, where it's like the Emperor goes through this like shrine thing with both Jinchi and Mao Mao, and I thought that was like one of the best episodes of the season. I like that one a lot, so he was good for that. There was, let's see here, anyone else that is worth mentioning. I'm just going to scroll through to see if there's anyone like really that I should mention. There are the triplet sisters that are the ladies in waiting for Gyoko that end up showing up for like extra help and stuff. They're fine. You don't really see, there's like one in particular, I think the one with the red hairpin or the red ribbon in her hair, that is like a bit more, you see a bit more of her than the other ones, but I don't think that they are very, like, as of this moment, they haven't been developed too much, so interesting to see how they'll develop, I guess. Anyone else? Let's see here. Kyoyu, he is the kid that was, I think, like he calls himself, like he calls Suirei and Shizui, like he calls them his sisters, but I don't think they're actually related. But he's like the kid that is at the village that Mao ends up getting taken to. So he's fine. He ends up like getting poisoned, but then the whole revival thing. It's not fully explained like how it works out. It's like some sort of thing that like it causes them to pass out and then like make them stop breathing. But I guess it's like they're still alive temporarily. They end up getting like revived a bit later. So yeah, he's fine. He did lose his memory, and I think he is now living. At the end of the season, he is now currently living with Mao. So I think we'll see more of him in the next season, which will be interesting. This is a big shame. Lakan, I think probably my favorite character of the show. He is not as much in this season, and like he's still a bit. You do still see some of him, and you do still see some of his like charming personality and stuff, and like his mannerisms, which is nice. But it is a bit of a shame that he's not as much of a highlight that he was in the last season. So. As well as him, you do have his son. You have Lakan apparently as an adopted son, Lahan, who is as well in this. He makes his debut in this season. Who he was fine. Once again, he's not in it too much, so I am excited to see more of what they do with him. Lee Haku as well. He is not as much in the season compared to the first season. It feels like he's still here, like especially towards the end a bit more. But yeah, you don't see as much of him. Everyone from like the J Pavilion, you barely see them at all, which is a bit of a shame because they were fun characters. Loman, you see Loman a bit more, which is nice. He's a good character. You have Mao the cat, who I think is introduced in the season, which you did not get introduced to. The cat Mao. I don't know. I don't remember if it's a he or she, but they make their debut in this season, which is cool. I like cats, so that's always nice to see some more cats. Anyone else? There is Shenlu, who is the doctor that I think ended up. She was working with Suirei, and then she ends up poisoning herself in order to try to escape questioning and stuff. So she was, I'll get more to her when I do the character ranking. There's Shenmei, who is the ultimate like villain of the season. I think that she was honestly not really the best developed. Like it feels like she shows up in like the last few episodes, and then we didn't get enough time with her to like be developed as this villain. So once again, I'll speak more about her when we get to the character ranking. Shisho also, he's a fine character. I thought also I have my gripes with him, I guess, so I'll get more into that in the character ranking. Suirei, I thought that she was fine. Like definitely, she's a very interesting character that I will once again for the third time. I'll speak more about her when we get to the character ranking. But I would say I had positive feelings towards her. I'd say. Anyone else that is no? Okay, that's pretty much everyone. Once again, I'll do the character rankings. We'll get more in depth. So, but overall, I'd say the characters this season, I would say like I don't know. I'll say like I'll be generous. I'll give it like a 6.5. I'll say that they're good. Definitely feels a bit like a step down. There are a lot of characters that I did like from the first season that it feels like you do see them a bit. I don't think there's any character that they just completely ignore, but definitely there are a lot of characters that they do not put a big focus on this season, which is a bit of a shame because I did like those characters in the last season. So in terms of the settings are pretty much mostly the same. Like you do have the Rear Palace a lot. You do have in the second half, you do go to the Fox Village where Mao Mao gets kidnapped. You go see there. You do see halfway through the season they go on like a hunting party, Jinchi and Mao Mao. You do see a bit of like forest areas and stuff. It's all nice. I'd say I would give it probably all the settings. I would say like a 6.5. I'd say like they're good. There's nothing really too much to speak about though. It's a lot of similar stuff from the first season and nothing too different. But it all still works. I'd say so. A 6.5. I'm going to give it. In terms of the art style doesn't really change too much. It's about the same art. Like it is the same art style from last season. So. I don't really remember what I gave the art style in the last season, but I do like this art style. I think it's good. It's pretty simplistic, I'd say. It's not anything too like incredible, but it's a good art style, I'd say. So I would definitely say the art style. I would give it probably I'll go like a 7 out of 10. Pretty good, I'd say. I already said the worst thing. The worst thing is definitely the clarity, understanding like the relationships and the dynamics between characters, especially in the second half of the season, where you find out all this information about the past with the late emperor and the affairs that all these characters had, and then this person had a child, and this person was like couldn't leave the palace and stuff, and this person hates this person because of like this person's family member that like wronged this other person in the past, and like it gets really confusing. And I think it's just. I understand that it's meant to be like you're supposed to like put the puzzle pieces all together and stuff, and it's supposed to all paint this like big picture of this big thing that goes on. But me personally, I have trouble, I guess, processing all the details and putting everything together. Like I have a general sense of like what everything happened, but it's like all the specifics about like Suirei's mother and Shinmei like being upset, like hating Suirei because of her mother and stuff, and like this is also related to like their father, I forgot his name. What was his name? It was something with Shisho, like being in love with Changmei, but then also like he married Suirei's mother, and then like all this stuff. It's like it's very confusing and stuff. And so that was my least favorite thing I'd say about the season, which I said a 4 out of 10. I'd say that the clarity was bad for those specific aspects. So, but the best thing I would say that the best thing is I would say honestly maybe. I think Shisui, honestly, I really liked her character, especially like the whole reveal with her being Lolin and stuff. I think there are like a few things I would say about her character, but I'll get into that in the character ranking. But I think overall, like she was a she was probably my favorite character. Definitely this season, she is my favorite character. I don't know if she's my favorite character overall in the show, but yeah, I did like her addition, like all the stuff related to her. So that was probably I would say my favorite thing about the season. So. I would say all the aspects related to Shisui, I would give I'd go like a 7.5, I'd say. Very good, I'd say. So, yeah, definitely 7.5 for Shisui and all the stuff related to her, I'd say. Yeah, that is all the categories I have, so I'm going to do the calculations. So, King Crimson. Alright, so it ends up coming out to exactly a 6.25. That's between a 6 and a 6.5, which would be between above average and good. And I think I would probably give it, like a 6.5 out of 10. I think it is good. It's a good season. I don't think I like it as much as the first one. I think the first one, I ended up giving the first season, I think a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty good. This one, it feels slightly below. It definitely feels like it's a bit weaker this season. It definitely feels like, I will also say, I didn't mention this before, but I do want to mention this. It does feel like this season, it feels like we're not making too much progress, to be honest. Like, it feels like this is an anime with like a 24 episode season length. Like most animes, like they do have like 12 episodes per season. So the fact that this one already, we're at 48 episodes, and it feels like we're making progress on stuff. Like we definitely like Jinchi's identity has been revealed, which is finally nice that is like public knowledge, I guess. But it does feel like for 48 episodes, like I kind of wish that we're getting a bit. I kind of wish that there was a bit more progress by now. Like we had this whole thing at the end of season 2 where it's like all this stuff focusing on the She Clan, I think that's what it was called, and it just feels like kind of filler stuff, and it feels like it's not ultimately going to pay off to anything too important. And I do understand that also that part of the show is like stuff happens, and then later on it gets developed more so, like the whole thing in the last season where it's like Suirei, she ends up dying, and then she comes back to, like, she dies and then she disappears, and then it got paid off this season. But it still feels like at this point, just for the amount of episodes that are currently out, which is like 48, it just feels like I want like a bit more progression for like what the ultimate, like, I don't know, just maybe some sinister force to be revealed or something like that, or like ultimately, like what are we going towards here, like in this, like where is this heading? It feels like so. But yeah, it is meant to be like a slice of life show as well, which I do think it succeeds in those aspects. But yeah, just some final thoughts before we get into the final consensus, which I would give it probably a 6.5. I still think that this is this season was good, not as good as the first season, I would say, but definitely I still think it was a good season, so I'm going to say a 6.5. So. But yeah, that is pretty much all there's to it. So if you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, web series, anything that you want me to review, leave it in the comments and I will maybe possibly check it out. But with that said, that is pretty much all there's to it. So let's leave it at that.